And even in the even in the patent that was applied for by a guy called Bernard Eastland for the original HARP technology, mentions this man, Nikola Tesla. He was in truth, the scientific genius of the 20th century, and he'd probably be the scientific genius of the 21st if he was still here. What he had done is cross the bloody line, which mainstream science will not do because of all the implications for the agenda if it does. That line is to cross the line into understanding, a greater understanding of what reality is and how you can use it to create all the warmth and power you need without, once the technology's there, without cost. And part of that is accessing the electrical level of the universe, what I've been talking about, and turning it into usable warmth and power. And what did he say? If you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. He was making weather effects. His neighbors were complaining to the police. He was creating lightning above his home in New York. He created mini bloody earthquakes with thousands of windows crashing when the technology went more than he thought, and like kind of crazy bloody comedy film, he couldn't turn the bloody thing off and all the bloody windows were going. And he also understood how to create free energy, like I say, accessing the natural power and turning it into usable power and warmth without cost and without, if you like, carbon dioxide. Now, the same bloody people that are saying we must do all this to save the world from carbon dioxide are the same people that have been suppressing this technology for bloody decade after decade after decade. Now, in terms of weather manipulation, Dr. Richard Day, the 1969 man, he actually worked on weapon manipulation in the US military during World War II. And the BBC recently did a radio documentary in which they exposed that the Great Flood at Lynmouth in 1952, when they had 250 times the rainfall, and it created this massive wave of water that came through the village, killing 35 people, was actually done by the RAF. They called it Operation Cumulus, also Operation Witch Doctor. And it was manipulated on purpose as an experiment on weather manipulation. It's been going on that long and earlier. Here is a US Air Force document, 1996. It describes the artificial creation of floods, hurricanes, droughts, and earthquakes, and continues. Weather modification will become a part of domestic and international security and could be done unilaterally. It could have offensive and defensive applications and even be used for deterrence purposes. The ability to generate precipitation, fog, storms on Earth, to modify space weather, and the production of artificial weather all are part of an integrated set of military technologies. Now, of course, most people will now be bloody aware, my God, were we bombarded this year or what? With chemtrails, not contrails which disappear, condensation trails, chemtrails that don't disappear if they come out the back of these bloody aircraft. They stay around and they come out and eventually drop to the earth, and they have strontium, they have aluminium, they have barium. It's acidifying water, it's acidifying the land, and it is causing tremendous impacts on human health. Cumulatively, again, the coal. But it's doing something else. In the HARP patents, and specifications, etc. In the description of a researcher describing and summarizing what it said this: dispersed metallic particles such as aluminium, barium, and strontium, the main chemical ingredients of chemtrails, or ingredients of chemtrails, may increase the atmosphere's conductivity and therefore enhance HARP's weather modification performance. So it's doing that as well. So where am I going with this? Well, I'm going here. Dr. Richard Day, 1969, the weather will be modified and used as a weapon of war to create drought or famine. A weapon of war against who? In Agenda 21 terms, a weapon of war against the small farmers, landowners and growers of the world, not least in America. We have had in America this massive drought this year, which has devastated small independent farmers and growers. Of course, the big bloody corporations can cope with it, got unlimited bloody funds when they're part of the agenda. And so, also, in 2011 and other times, we've had these extraordinary forests of tornadoes. It was about 300 in a period of 3 days at one point. I think it was 2011. And that, of course, is devastating rural communities and what have you. Creating tornadoes with HAARP technology, child's bloody play. And what have we had in this country? Devastating weather and floods, which again has had a massive impact upon small farmers and growers. And you know, there was a report for the European Parliament, a European Parliament committee in the 1990s, about HAARP, which was actually quite good because it was saying, hold on a minute, we don't like this. And one of the things it was saying is that HAARP technology had the ability to manipulate the jet stream and change weather patterns. Well, when you look at the meteorological explanation for the great deluge in Britain this summer, they say it's happened to the jet stream. And instead of going away and taking, dropping some and going off into Europe, it basically started doing this, which is why we got the bloody lot. And when the farmers and growers collapsed, in come the big agribusiness people, the network, to take over the land for cents on the dollar. Also, we're having this devastating impact upon the bee population around the world. Monsanto, another word for bloody evil. And the other part of this is to create food shortages. Food shortages because it's not there, because of the production, and food shortages that people simply cannot afford it because it's so bloody expensive. And control if they eat, and their hearts and minds will follow. This is all part of the control system that they're bringing on. Get them off the land free. Financially, get them off the land. They can't afford to stay there anymore. There you go. There you go. This is the. This is where we're at. Hunger Games, Agenda 21 or what? 3.5 million homeless, 18.5 million vacant homes in the United States.